Hello everyone. This is a continuation of my female cardinal, and I recently taught a class on this one, and we pretty much only got the beak and the eyes and part of the head done. I have a little bit of the branch accomplished, and I wanted to show a few parts of the bird to that class while I was there to show them my technique and what I do. So this is as far as we've gotten on this. I do need to go back in and put some darker colors in around his face because, as you can see on the picture, it is a little bit darker in areas. His eyes, I need to put just a little bit more black on those too, touch those up a little bit. But right now what I want to focus on is, if you watch my first video, you will know how I accomplished all of this and with what colors I used. For this video, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start to lay in some of the colors in this breast area here, in her breast area here. So I've got a luminance pencil. It is 583 violet pink. And if you notice on the picture, there is quite a bit of pinkish tints to it. Also too, kind of where the sun is hitting it at. But anyway, so we're just gonna kind of start in. The first I want to do is, I've not made an outline on this side down here as to where this comes out at. So I try to trace my patterns and get most of the important markings down, but sometimes you have to just kind of, freehand draw it the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to kind of fill that in. I'm just going to put in just a little bit of pink. And if you notice, I'm holding my pencil at a very loose angle and just kind of very lightly. This is a strong color, so I'm just going to put that in lightly. I see some pink up here. This little pinkish part up in here, which trying to figure out where exactly. This is where the darker color will be, the darker brown. Then we will have some red right underneath here, coming down to the top of this berry right there. So I'll kind of mark that in for my red coloring. The pink, there's a little bit of pink up above here. I'll jump over to this side over here, kind of define that outline there a little bit more. You don't want to ever just like bear down straight up pencil. You just always want to hold it at a loose angle like that, especially on these lighter tones where you're just kind of shading those in. Also too, on the picture you notice that her feathers come down over part of the tree limb. You want to do that. Where the feet are, there's going to be a deeper line right here. You kind of have to kind of map out, so to speak, the animal or whatever you're drawing, so that you kind of know where you're going with what colors and the actual formation. If you notice, I'm kind of going left to right, because that's how these feathers are appearing. You always want to work your pencil in the direction, if you're doing a bird, in the direction of the way the feathers go. If you're doing a dog or a cat, definitely, of course, you're going to work those pencils in the direction of their fur. Okay, so I've got some of that mapped out. Then I'm going to take luminance number 548 raw umber, and I want to go ahead and fill in part of her wing right up here with that. It's a just kind of a medium brown, so to speak. There again, short little pencil strokes. Also too, you don't want to fill this in solid. You want to leave a little bit of room here, a little bit of white area on your paper to indicate actual feathers protruding over onto that area. You also want to follow along with the picture as to where the darkened areas are and the lighter areas are. That's how you get your three-dimensional look. And on the end of outside of this wing here, if you notice, I'm making sure it's rounded to give it that effect. Coming back up in here, where this goes into that lighter area, it's called toothing. I'm going to put just a little bit of that darker color, just tooth it in up there into the other feathers. I'm going to leave this a little bit lighter on top. It's much lighter. There's different colors that you can use to get the same effect. It doesn't have to be exactly the same ones I'm using. I'm only recommending these because I just feel like these colors go together. But you can use different ones and still get a very nice effect. So there's some darker areas where her feathers are coming out underneath here. I'm going to go ahead and mark those down. Just kind of put them in there like that, just short little strokes. And you don't want them all to be the same length of a line either. You've got to make them different lengths. If you put them all in the same, it's not going to look realistic. Okay, so for this kind of a brown coppery color in there, I am going to try the 741 New Earth 5%. Now this pencil is not sharp, and for areas like this you don't have to have it real sharp. Let's see what this color looks like in here. Yeah, I think this is a good color. So I'm just going to show you part of this so that you can do this at your own discretion, and then fill in short little strokes. Come down, you just want to fill that in where you see the color at. I'm not putting in a lot of color right now. I want to just kind of put in the flow of how the feathers lay. Get a little bit going in there so I can see more of it. Now I'm going to jump over to where her red is on her wing here. Now this is a pretty, it's a dark red, 225 polychromos. This is pretty dark, so we'll go easy here at first. Short little strokes. If you notice, there's red, but then there's also some more of this grayish brown in there too. I'm not filling it in solid because there's some definition in there with where her feathers kind of come together and then separate again. I'm going to go back in with my luminance 548. To kind of help define those feathers. On the very outside of this wing, it's very light where the sun is shining on it. So make sure you make it that way so it will look realistic. I'm going to come down here to the top of that berry there. Just leave it alone for right now. And don't forget that you know, I always use my cotton buds to kind of blend in the color a little bit to see how we're getting the right colors here and there. I'm going to turn this over. What I've used on that red, I'm going to turn it over because I don't want to, right now, I don't want to mix those two colors together. And if you notice, once you use the cotton bud to blend, to push that color into the paper, it makes such a change. It's makes a drastic change there. I'm going to go use this up here on this one a little bit. See how that helps that really push the color in it, makes it a lot brighter, darker. Okay, I'm going to go back in. I want to use a little bit of a different color, I think. That deep red was a little bit harsh. This is 193 burnt carmine. So I'm going to go in and kind of go back over this area a little bit. Okay, let's leave that for right now. Also, too, I'm going to make a few little pencil strokes where those feathers come in at. So now this is a pastel. It's, as I said in my class, the only thing I can really use that shows up white on top of my colored pencils is a pastel. This is a Stabilo Carbothello. It is 100. It's just a white. And if you kind of have to bear down on it just a little bit, but as you can see when I'm making those marks across there, it will come through. Okay. I'm going to let you go ahead and fill in with the base of the color of her breast feathers, and I'll do the same on that. I'll work on it, and then I will come back with the next video. Thank you for watching.